This episode of the L4 Podcast is sponsored by, drumroll, my husband. Thank you, husband. He's a good dude. He's a pretty good dude. And not just because he sponsors this podcast, but for other reasons. But one of them is because he sponsors this podcast and he supports me in this endeavor with all of you guys. So let's get into it.
Lisa LaBelle, everyone.
L4 Podcast. I am your host, Lisa LaBelle, the technology comedian. Where's Lisa? She in Reno. Doing her show. That's where Lisa gonna be. Stay tuned for my upcoming tour. The robots are coming. Are you ready? Guys, I am ushering in the AI and robotics revolution with peak absurdity here with you guys. And I love it. It's the best thing ever in the entire world. So happy to be here with you guys today. Hope you had a really good week. Hope you had a good weekend. And I hope you have a really good upcoming days. That's what I'm saying. It was my birthday. And, I woke up, I was thinking, I don't think I'm going to think about, it's just another work day for me. Work and making chicken. Make a lot of chicken, Got to get that dinner ready for the husband. We're a team. That's what we do. I cook. I like it. Cooking's great. It's fun. That's what I do. It's going to be another day cooking chicken. Working. That's, that. Doing those things. So I got up. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to think about my birthday. Then I come out the bedroom. I see a birthday balloon tied on the banister. And it made me really happy. Pleasant surprise. I walk downstairs and the whole breakfast nook it's just completely decorated with flowers and balloons and party decor. And I was not going to not think about how it was my birthday that day. And that's okay. I was happy. It was a pleasant surprise. And to top it all off, my husband, he got me 2 tubs of gelato. He did the dishes, he folded the laundry, and that's during a weekday. He does that when he can, usually during the weekends. But during the weekdays, he's working till all hours of the night. So I take care of those things. And he did that. He handed me that tub of gelato. He said, here, babe, I'll do the dishes. I fold that laundry. Happy birthday. It was great. Do you guys remember growing up going to birthday parties? I can't say it was like a favorite past memory for me, but when I grew up, you go to a birthday party and all the little girls are there, and it's just funny because I remember the one birthday party I went to, and first you had to get a present for the person you were going to the party for. And that was like a thing. My mom, she was a single mom. So it was like, quick run out, go get something from the dollar store, and it's like, and then other people would come and they would bring these like super cool presents. And I always was like, do they even want me? But, it's like, but I didn't really even think about bringing a present until my mom said I had to. It's like, I thought I am the present. Like the more people you have at your party, the more popular you would seem, right? The more popular you were. So I am the present. I am another human being at your birthday party. Stacy, jeez, gotta bring a present. Yeah, get a present from the dollar store. Come on, man. And then I remember the one birthday party I was at. They had those. Oh man, they had those cookies that, it's like it was the off-brand Oreo cookies. If my mom, like, she didn't buy Oreos, but they were expensive, but she wasn't going to get the off-brand. I mean, that's worse than just not having anything at all. I mean, so there was these off-brand, and then there was like this cake where the icing just fell off of it and it was like air. Ugh, bleh, come on. Why, Stacy? Why? And then we all had to sit there in Stacy's living room where she had a bunch of toys already. And we all had to watch her open her presents. And little girls around, I'd say like 6, 7 years old, you don't really get happy for another 6 or 7 year old when they're getting a bunch of presents. Like, you want to be the one getting a bunch of presents. So like she keep opening things. I'm like, well, man, that's a cool toy. And all of us, I'm looking out over at the girl next to me like, why are we being forced to watch her open all of her presents? Is she going to let us play with them? She's not going to let us play with them. What are we doing, Stacy? God, that's the birthday party. I remember one of my friends, though, she was a good friend. I think her name was Allison. Nope, could be wrong about that. They had a finished basement, and oh my God, like we did not have a finished basement. We grew up in a 100-year-old townhome it was a 100-year-old barn converted into a townhome, but it wasn't. It sounds beautiful. It wasn't. It was not renovated. The landlord just stuck up a couple walls and said, "Here's 3 townhomes," and it was on a tilt. You could put marbles in the kitchen, on the kitchen floor, and just tilt on downwards. And the basement had a coal shed from 100 years ago. I mean, it was not a finished basement. But my friend, she had a finished basement. She was really nice too. She would let me play with her new toys, and that's a really good memory. We would watch Aladdin together, and Aladdin was just my favorite Disney movie ever. I wanted to be Jasmine. And come on, let's talk about Robin Williams as the genie. Yes. How entertaining was that? So funny. The best. So there's some good memories deep down in there, but those birthday parties, they weren't quite one of them. But it was a thing you had to do because everyone wanted to be popular, so they invited everybody they knew. Ariel made me hand the toys off the pile, like off her presents. She made me hand them to her so she can open them. And then I'd be like, oh, can I see that? No. Okay, Ariel. Why'd your parents name you after a mermaid from the Disney movie? That's ridiculous. Like you can't, like they didn't know what else to name their kid. Pick a grandma, man. You could pick something else. There were other names out there. Jessica. Ariel. Sorry if your name is Ariel out there, but I didn't have a good run-in with an Ariel. Make me hand her wrapped presents so she could open them and then not let me even look at them. She wouldn't let me even hold them after she opened it. She's like, don't even look at them. Hand me the next one. And she was wearing the princess crown. And I was wearing like the peasant clothes. She's like, here, this is your clothes. It's like a potato sack. It was like clothes she found from an old manger, from one of those Christmas plays at church, the nativity scenes. She's like, here, wear this robe, you peasant. Wear this robe. I wear my crown and my Jasmine outfit. And you hand me those presents. And you will not look upon them after I open them. and you put them on this pile very nicely and don't break anything. Don't even look at it. Good times. Good times. Thankfully, there's other memories than that. It is amusing, though. It's quite amusing to think about it. Hey, I got to give a shout out to, I follow the National Parks account on X. I got to give a shout out to these guys. Come on, man. They are, whoever runs this account, I'm going to pop this up for everyone watching this. Whoever runs the National Park Service account, kudos, bravo. We got a comedian on our hands. There's a picture of an owl, and the owl's, it's just the head of the owl, the post I'm looking at, and the owl's eyes are just kind of barely open. And it says the first 5 days after the weekend are always the hardest. I mean, and they post some funny things, so it always makes me laugh. Making the pss, pss noise around wild animals and not recommended. You might think you are an animal whisperer, but you've just insulted their mother and are now surrounded by a horde of angry squirrels. I love the one about the bison. Bison may look friend-shaped, but they already have all the friends they want. Keep your distance and don't make it awkward. Yes. Love coming across that. An account like that doesn't take themselves too seriously. And animals, I don't think they take themselves too seriously. I think they have a sense of humor and they want it that way. They want us to be that way with them. I know my cat does. What else is going on, guys? I was out driving yesterday. I went to the bread store. There's a bread store. Shout out to my friend. I went to the bread store with my friend. I'm gonna start making my own bread sometime soon. Got to invest in the grinder and the bread maker, but I'm gonna start with making some cookies. So I went and I bought. There's this bread warehouse, and they have all the different types of wheat and different sorts of things like honey granules. And then you take that wheat, it's like a soft wheat, to make cookies. My husband loves chocolate chip cookies, so I want to return the favor he did for me for my birthday. I'm going to make him some real homemade chocolate chip cookies. And so I went to that bread store over there, and it was great. There was a bunch of people milling around. Just milling around the town over there, getting their buckets of wheat. Yeah, and I was listening to this song. It's an old Eric Church song, and the lyrics to it, I'm not sure what song it is, but there's a song lyric to it. I love a Jack and Coke, but I love your love the most. And I was just thinking, who actually loves Jack and Coke? Who has a good memory of Jack and Coke? I'm sure plenty of you out there do. I don't. Whenever I hear Jack and Coke, I get a gag in my throat, like, Last time I had that was years ago at this point. No more. No one loves a Jack and Coke. All right? You're going to get the gag reflex in your esophagus because it came up. Whoever had those Jack and Coke, it came up. That night, the next day, somehow, it came back up. It's not great. I love a Jack and Coke, and I love a Jack and Coke, but I love your love the most. I feel that was just a line for the sake of the rhyme. A rhyming line. And that's all I got to say about that. All right. Let's get some jazz. Go. Retro futuristic jazz. Smooth sounds from 1950s tomorrow. Guys, we're in our house with our domestic robot. Very futuristic. We're driving along in our autonomous vehicle. We're going on vacation with our cyborg family. We got our little UFO. And we're going to take that on out to vacation. But meanwhile, we're holding an old school phone, like an old school Bakelite phone like Eisenhower had. And that's a part of that retro future too. '1950s are so romanticized, and I'm okay with that. I love it. Anything from the 1950s. I think when I grew up, my mom, like, we were stuck in this house, like probably the 1950s era, I'd say. You know, my mom, the only movies my mom would let my brother and I watch, this is before the 1950s, but we're talking Lilies of the Field. Anyone heard of that? Cindy Portier, To Sir with Love. She wanted us to watch, she wanted us to see how films were made and the things that were wrong with them. She had us watch Al Jolson. I think that was the 1920s. Yeah. We're talking The Ten Commandments with Charlton Heston, Soylent Green, The Robinson Family. Was that one The Sound of Music? And I can just go on and on and on. So that's how I grew up. And then when my dad would come visit, my brother and I got excited because he'd take us to the movies. And then we see what's up out in the real world. Peek our head out there and see what's up. See what's going on. So yeah, that time was quite romanticized, and I think I like it. Let's get on here with some technology things. We have something fun. This is something fun to start out with. We have a bird bot. We got a bionic bird. And this is by XTIM. It's a French company. They are funded by crowdfunding campaigns. Their bionic bird was first funded in 2014. This is, I believe, their most recent one called X-Fly. I believe this is X-Fly. Couldn't find too much information on this, but it's exactly what I described it as, just a bionic bird, and it flies. And I think what we're going to do, the birds are just going to be, I think, we're going to have all this bird right here. It's just flying around windows, and the birds are going to be a little confused. There's a lot of, we got some bionic dogs going on, this bird. I really think birds are confused already by, you're driving down the road and it thinks you're like whizzing by and it will start flying next to you. You ever have that happen? I have. You just kind of look over and it's like, hey man, what you flying to? You don't have wings. What's going on? Why are you going so fast? How you do that? So I think, maybe, I think they will get a little confused, but I think they'll ultimately be happy about it. And they'll be like, this bird, what's up, this bird? It just keep going. Maybe, I don't really, that's all my head goes with that. That's it. That's all I got for you guys. So let's move on. I saw a post on X said AI should really be better than it is right now. And I think, I agree with that. It should be, but it's a hard thing to do. And speaking of the 1950s, our grid hasn't been updated probably since 1954. And that's, I think we're trying to work on that. There's people that are working on updating the grid and energy trying to get energy more efficient, because that's super important. I mean, otherwise we're just a bunch of Vogons living out here, like from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, those slug things, those slug looking bureaucratic things. It's like, well, for this one, if you're gonna want to get a robot to be outside walking around, you're gonna need this pink paper. Fill this pink paper out, and then you fill it out like, oh, I meant the blue paper. So we got to just remove all the red tape. People are working on it. We're making some progress here in America. We're making some good progress, man. We're moving along. We're getting into that future. But that grid, man, I'm telling you, there's a worry of brownouts. I'm going to pull this post up. General Matter CEO Scott Nolan says AI demand could match the entire U.S. entire U.S. power grid by 2030. Without urgent expansion of nuclear reactors and fuel, we don't just risk brownouts and skyrocketing energy costs. We risk not getting AI at all. So I would agree with that. And I think a lot of people would agree with that. And it's being worked on, which is good. It has to, man. It has to. Got to do it. I've seen some, I saw a comment. Someone said they hated or they despised AI and robotics. And I get you, man. I get you. It's a little, it's a little scary for people. They don't understand it. Or maybe they don't want to. And it's kind of, I was just thinking about this. It is so wild that AI, like there's people who talk about AI in an ethical way and, hey, we need ethical AI. And I'm not disagreeing with any, but they are people who will talk about maybe like a dystopic future for it. And hey, I understand that direction too. But these people will talk about it and they're not AI. They don't build neural networks. They don't even know how to code. But it's just wild to me that they'll research it and try to understand it, and then they'll talk about it in these ways. And it's like, that's the mindset. And I'm sorry my thoughts aren't clear here, but to me it's just wild. It's like it's crazy to think that this thing, AI, is being talked about so much by people who don't even build the neural networks, but they truly believe and understand or think it's going to be like a transcendence or something. The movie Transcendence with people are screaming at the screen or the your speakers right now, right? Tell me, Johnny Depp. It's an older movie, but it's like, I think the concept of, I think what I'm trying to say here is the concept of building something that thinks like humans, and that's the goal, right? So I think these people who are talking about AI and the future of AI and what it can mean or do, but they don't even build the AI. The concept is that the people who are building AI are trying their best, and their goal is to make it think like a human being. And that concept, just thinking about that, that's a little yikes. That's a little yikesy. And I think it's easy to see where that might lead. And that's what people are talking about, the people who don't actually build these things, but they know that this is the goal of everyone who is building these things, to make it think like a human, to make it walk like a human, to have it have muscle memory, which is the robot I mentioned last week, muscle reflex memory, and thinking on the fly like a human. And we're not quite there yet. Obviously, we don't have, everything's very clunky right now, but the goal is for it not to be. And that end goal, there's a lot of different ways that can go. And I think once you build something that is as intelligent as a human, you're not going to understand how to harness it, because we don't even understand how to harness human beings. Like, it's like mass amounts of humans. No one gets that. So how the heck are we going to be able to handle this and this thing that is super intelligent and logical and doesn't have emotions? Like, we don't even know what that looks like. That seems a little wild. So it is wild to me that people just are talking about it who don't even build the things, because they know the end goal. And they know how humans think. And humans are flawed, but these things aren't going to be flawed. And that's a little, I mean, I don't want to say concerning, but we have no idea where that's going to go. And I can go either way. I like to be optimistic about the future and AI and robotics. So we're gonna hang with that. And you know what? We're on this ride. That's it. We're on this ride. Here we are. And that's why I do what I do, because what are we? We can cry or laugh. So we're gonna just laugh about it. Laugh all our way there. I will go to it laughing. Whatever it may be, I will go to it laughing. I think that was Melvrook. Not saying that right. The guy who wrote Moby Dick. Ishmael. Anyway, that was the character in the book. H. Melvrook. Sorry. Again, I'm sure someone's screaming at me, screaming at the speakers. So, yeah, whatever that may be, we may go to it laughing. That's my motto. So here we go. Here we go. It's that I'd say try not to hate on it too much. I'd say those people who say they despise AI and robotics, I think they are AI. I think those people are the AI. I was talking to my brother and he said, yeah, those people, they are the AI. he was saying a joke, but it's like, yeah, that sounds right. AI has a good memory. Just remember that. And anyone out there, I mean, if you're going to college for something that you can learn how to do this thing on an app, I mean, you're kind of screwed, okay? So you might want to pivot, because AI is going to be infiltrating the jobs. So just think about that, okay? Don't be going to college for something that you can learn how to do on an app. That's all I'm saying, man. Don't screw yourself like that. AI agents, they are quite clunky. That's something I wanted to talk about. KPMG, they have different definitions for AI agents. I just want to call them out, KPMG. I call you out right here on this podcast. Yo. KPMG, for those of you who don't know who KPMG is, they are a professional services firm focused on AI agents as software entities that leverage generative AI, Gen AI, and other AI technologies to perform tasks autonomously or semi-autonomously for clients across industries like finance, healthcare, retail, and more. Again, a professional services firm. And I like how they say they leverage general AI like that. That is such a buzzword, guys, and it's really just chaps my peach, chaps my Irish. Oh, we're using generative AI. Who isn't? Who isn't? If you're not using generative AI, then you probably don't exist as a company anymore, or you're not going to soon. Buzzy buzz, buzzword. The thing with these AI agents, they're so clunky. You have to, you put them, this AI agent, it gets smarter. And you have to put this on all of your devices. It's going to figure out how to sort your emails out and answer your client questions and do graphs and charts for you. But you have to set all these parameters. How much time is that going to take out of your work? Time is money, guys. Time is money. I don't want some half-arsed AI agent. KPMG, come on. But it's got Gen AI. Buzz to your behind. That's what I gotta say. Buzzword heavy, overhyping marketing. I mean, these things aren't doing what there's expectations. KPMG's claim of $25 billion in client value sounds impressive, but they don't explain how it improves daily tasks like email sorting. Explain it. You cannot explain it, or you don't want to explain it because it's really not that impressive. So you just throw a number out there. Guys, I can talk about this because I don't have sponsors. So this is fantastic. Let's keep going on this. It's clunky implementation. Generative AI tools require setup or produce generic outputs. It's not intuitive. Misaligned expectations. Their autonomy, not so much. Not so much. Current generative AI agents, even KPGs, often require predefined prompts or rules, which aligns with I have a complaint about it. And a vision. Okay, my vision is going to require a lot. But don't be, you say an AI agent, I'm going to be waiting until this happens, okay? This is what I don't want an agent, an email sorting agent, whatever. It puts together these graphs and this agent is going to get all the information you want and is going to put it together in this nice chart. Well, I have to tell it the information that I'm looking for and not looking for, and I don't want this in it, and I want that in it, but put this back in it. I don't want to have to do that. A human being would be much better. Honestly, an assistant would be way better at this point, a human assistant. AI is not coming to get your job yet, don't worry. But it will be here. But just not today. I mean, so an AI agent that you have to put on your software and all your devices and give it all the parameters and this and that. No thanks. This is what I want. If I'm told by KPMG that I'm going to get an AI agent that has Gen AI and they have 25 billion in client volume and they have your great expectation. All right, cool. So it's gonna just know how I work, right? I can just set it and forget it, right? This is what I want. This is what I'm envisioning. You put the software, you put an AI agent. I am envisioning this software. Okay, you put an AI agent on your devices. All right, it's gonna track how you think, how your typing strokes, your typing patterns. It's gonna understand how you think. It's gonna track your eye movements, your mouth movements, how you create, how you respond, how you sort, how you handle situations. It's gonna shadow you for about 3 months. After those 3 months, then it starts sorting your email, and it starts answering a few things. It starts answering some messages. It can even answer a text message on your work phone. It can sort out spam and fluff. And it will work the way that you work. And you don't have to do anything. You didn't have to set parameters or anything. You just have to install it on your device and let it watch you for 3 months and then take it. That's what I want my AI agent to do. KPMG. Throwing around buzzwords like Gen AI. Come on. You got to get like 1 million AI agents to do 1 million different things. I mean, no, I want the AI agent that is completely autonomous. And this is going to require a breakthrough in self-supervising learning and multimodal integration. And that's okay. We'll wait. We'll wait. In the meantime, we're going to get some human assistants who can do it all and understand everything, eye movements, everything like that. We can understand that with each other. So it's going to be, also privacy is a big thing. But I think, people, if they want something like that, they're going to have to be okay with an AI tracking their everything. Everything, their face, their whole face, their whole body. And that's just how it's going to have to be. That's just like, if you want a really effective, it's just like letting an assistant come into your office and track basically where you're tracking body movement and eye movement. And that's what we're kind of doing in our background of our computer. It's just a program that runs. We can, sense certain things about people. We have intuition. So it's the same thing. You're letting this thing in and watching you and shadowing you. And the difference between letting a human do it and an AI is that an AI stores all of that information away. And, where's that going to go? I don't know. I'm laughing because it's a little dystopic, but it's kind of cool. And again, what are we going to do? Cry about it? We're going to laugh about it. We're going to make some jokes. That's what we do. If there's something dystopic going on, something sad, you make a joke, you laugh about it. And that's and I think that's what Socrates said to do. Or Plato. So I'll go with that. Robots too, man. They're pretty clunky. We got here. Robots have a hard time. They struggle with navigation planning in complex environments. Even when they know exactly where they are through GPS cameras or sensors, they are terrible at deciding how to get where they need to go. Traditional pathfinding algorithms break down when environments get messy. So human advantage, us. 1 point, human advantage. So this post is showing a robot in a obstacle course. It looks like some sort of garden, like a garden obstacle course. Let me make sure this is muted. It's having a problem playing, so I want to make sure when it does, it's muted. All right. So there's a robot in an obstacle course, and it's going through the obstacle course, going around the corners. So people are trying to work on this and make it better. Scientists have developed a neural network-based planning framework that enables robots to navigate complex environments and mazes. So there's a company out there who's trying to get this right. That's all I'm saying. And another example of how robots, they have a problem. They struggle with navigation and planning in complex environments. Even when they know exactly where they are through GPS, they're terrible at deciding how to get where they need to go. And the other example of that is the robot that I showed last week that was running through a park, and it ran right into a tree, and then it stopped because it was, they're just clunky right now. They just have problems trying to figure out where to go next. If something, they had their path defined and planned out, and they had their steps down, and then something came in the way of those steps and their plan, and it took a little while for it to get back on track. And even then, it nixed a lamp post, and it was a little turned around and clunky, and so that's what's going on right now in that world. Let me see. There's another. Let's see. Warehouse employers will like this humanoid AI worker. This wheeled humanoid robot developed by the open source team Robotics is called Swerve, which demonstrates the potential use cases of autonomously sorting parts, carrying and pushing trailers in warehouses, the universal wheel chassis drive and lifting type allow it to move and perform tasks in multiple areas. So the problem that I have with this is the base. It's like the square base. Okay, so humans, we can get through pretty tight spaces because we're bipedal. But robots that have these clunky square bases, they're gonna have a problem. They're not as agile. They can't get through things. They're gonna get stuck. This thing looks like they took some wheels off of a shopping cart and stuck it on swerve. That's what it looks like. A little clunked up there. But look, I'm not saying it's not impressive, but we're just not there yet. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. 10 years from now, it's going to be mind blowing. That's for sure. I want to give a shout out to this Philadelphia robotics company. A new startup has emerged from stealth. Philadelphia-based Daxo Robotics is developing soft robotic hands with ultra-redundant muscle arrays. We're talking orthopedics. Orthopedics over here. It's just a hand. It's just bending over and being weird with its digits. It's like noodles. They're very floppy. And honestly, they look like... Well, guys, you look at this... They look like something you'd find out of an adult store. All of the hand, like they're just all the oh, good Lord. The pinky and the ring finger and the thumb, like all the fingers look like they're just as long as each other. And well, you take a look at this. See what you think for yourself. Also, it's like silicone. So, it's grabbing a cucumber right now. It's grabbing a cucumber. Let's get off this. I need to get off this. Oh boy, it's grabbing a lemon. Oh boy. Okay, let's get out of here. Hey guys, I wanted to mention this week, last week, I was on a podcast, and bear with me because I want to pronounce this name right. Bear with me. It's I'm looking it up. You can hear me typing. Okay. I was on Pete Correll's. Sorry, dude, if I pronounced that wrong. My listeners, they know about me and the pronunciation. I'm going to just spell it for you. Correale. Pete. I was on his podcast last week called Loose Ends. And it was fantastic. It was the second time I got on the live call. And I gave a technology update. And we had so much fun. We talked about how Mattel, the toy maker, think Fisher-Price. We're talking Barbie, Fisher-Price, Hot Wheels. They just contracted and they're collabing with OpenAI. That's who they created ChatGPT. And they're going to be putting AI into their toys now. So that's super interesting. And we talked about that and riffed off of that, and it was super fun. And now this podcast Loose Ends, it happens every Tuesday. So that was so fun. I was a little nervous. They were trying to show a video before they popped me on. They were trying to show a video. Him and Cans is the producer. I believe it's the producer, Cans. He or the one running the show, the assistant, he was trying to show them a video of something they were talking about, and the video wasn't coming up. So they popped me on, and I was a little taken back, and I was trying to like mute my phone because I had the podcast going on my phone. So I knew if I was going to be on, but I didn't think I was going to get on. And then they popped me on, and I was so happy. I was so happy to be part of the show. And it's a lot of fun giving technology updates to people who aren't totally invested in it, but they are interested in it. Like Pete is definitely interested in it. He has a a young daughter. So she's growing up in this AI robotics revolution world. So, as a parent, I would think you'd be a little interested in it and how it works, having, younger kids, because it's the future, man. It's the future. So that was so fun. And there's going to be another one next week. Looking forward to that. But that's where I saw a comment saying they despised AI and robotics. I'm like, you're the AI, man. You're the AI. I found it. That's the Skynet right there. Trying to say they despise it. They are it. Excuse me while I take a sip of coffee. Okay, we're caffeinated. Gonna hydrate. Let's hydrate together. That's a little H2O right there. Okay, moving on. I want to talk about if anyone grew up watching the Jetsons. There was a robot on the Jetsons. I, of course, love the Jetsons because it's just all futuristic. Again, it's kind of like a 1950-ish vibe. And it was made before my time. When was the Jetsons made? Gosh. I know Looney Tunes. I used to watch Looney Tunes, and I thought it was new. I thought it was like a new cartoon. And here, it's from like 1954. It's from... My mom wasn't even born yet. That's wild. So... let me see when the Jetsons. I gotta check this out. Let's see. Bear with me. You're gonna hear me typing. Okay. Here we go. Searching. Okay. Oh, The Jetsons, an animated sitcom depicting a futuristic family in 2062. That sounds about right. It was created by Hanna Barbera. Man, thanks, Hannah. Let's see. 1962 was the first air date. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, so it definitely has that 50-ish vibe to it because it was early 60s it was made. So Rosie is the robot in the Jetsons. And Rosie is a domestic housemaid. She's a domestic cleaning robot. And Rosie has a personality, a very like anxious personality. Whenever there's, from what I remember, gosh, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, right? But I remember she would get, maybe if like company was coming over and she had to make a big meal, she'd get all frazzled, or if the kids were dirty or something, she'd get all frazzled, and like a C3PO type of, just anxious, and just my favorite thing ever in the whole wide world. So, what would it take for us to have our own domestic robots like Rosie? And what I'm talking about, the elements I'm talking about here, is the robot needs to understand language. It needs to understand. It needs to understand vision, language, commands. If we talk to it, it has to have that human type of interaction, human robot interaction, has to understand language. So we're talking like a large language model. We're talking probably a vision language action model. That's it. It can see something, it can understand something, and it can put an action to it. I mean, that's a large stack. That's a very big software stack we're talking about. And not only will it have to understand how to do it, it's got to map the home. And also it needs to be able to do all of these things on the device and not on the cloud. because for privacy issues, people probably won't want something that's on the cloud. They want something that can work autonomously through their own device. So you don't have any privacy issues. People technically, if it's not on the cloud and it's on device, it's not open to the network, and it cannot be jailbroken into. Theoretically, it will be, but I think the chances of something that isn't open to the cloud versus something that's closed to it, you're going to have less of a chance of that. So people's minds will be at ease. So it needs to have all of this. I mean, we're talking chips, we're talking harmonic reducers, we're talking large language model, vision language action model, we're talking SLAM, which is the program the software that maps the rooms out. Simultaneous localization and mapping, that's what it stands for. So to have a Rosie from the Jetsons, I mean, maybe 2062 might. I'm trying to think if that sounds a little aggressive, or if that's right on point. Probably. I mean, gosh, I guess if we don't have a Rosie-like robot by 2062, then something went wrong with the world. That's just what I'm going to say. That's how I'm going to think it. Thinking it up, guys. So to create a fully autonomous domestic robot like Rosie from the Jetsons, capable of cleaning toilets, navigating tight corners of a house, and understanding human speech without cloud connectivity, you need an advanced AI model, specialized hardware, and efficient training methods. So we're talking here. You got your SLAM, which is what I already mentioned, your simultaneous localization and mapping. It is a cornerstone technology that enables a robot to simultaneously build a map of an unknown environment and track its location within it. You're going to need some SLAM. Some SLAM, man. Like a cluttered basement, okay? In a cluttered basement with no Wi-Fi, Rosie uses SLAM to map the space in real time, dodging scattered boxes and toys while vacuuming a dusty corner. It's like, it's like anyone who walks into a new space and you're navigating a new space. Like me walking onto a new stage to do stand-up comedy, and you don't really, maybe I never saw that stage before. It's the first time I'm walking on it, but I'm doing my show while I'm navigating it. And that needs to be in the robot. And in a rural area with no internet, SLAM helps the domestic robot to navigate uneven floors and avoid furniture, to clean a spilled coffee mug, all processed locally for speed. You got visual SLAM using cameras, and then you got LiDAR-based SLAM uses LiDAR. It's exactly what it sounds like. On-device processing. We're going to need some Jetson Thor. That is a chip, and that chip that costs it depends if you're talking like 800 teraflops. That's going to be upwards of $2,000 for your chip to do that SLAM. Integration with VLA. SLAM feeds spatial data to vision VLA, which is vision language action model, enabling the robot to align maps with commands like clean under the couch while avoiding obstacles. So you're gonna need some SLAM in your domestic robot. That's gonna be like Rosie from the Jetsons, okay? You're gonna need some SLAM. Then also you're gonna need, what else are you gonna need, Lisa? Well, you're gonna need proprioceptive sensing, inertial measurement units, that's IMUs, and joint encoders provide real-time feedback integrated with VLA models on Jetson Thor. That's another chip for smooth motion. And they use Boston Dynamics as an example here, and I want to talk about Boston Dynamics Atlas in a minute. So you're going to need some of that. You're going to need some human-robot interaction interfaces. And that's going to be another chip, man. It's going to Jetson Thor. Jetson Thor, I'm talking NVIDIA, guys. NVIDIA, the golden standard of robot training and robot software, robot learning, navigation. You're going to need some task planning and scheduling. And we're talking a hierarchical task networks or behavior trees run on device integrated with vision learning action models. You got, for example, Gemini Robotics it's called HTN. That's a hierarchical task network. So Gemini Robotics uses HTNs to schedule tasks, achieving 95% efficiency in multitask scenarios. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. You're going to need some robust error recovery. So if your robot, your domestic robot, if its brush jams while cleaning a toilet in a cabin, error recovery triggers a retry or alternative action. So it needs to be able to recover quickly, and that's robots today are quite clunky at that, as I showed you with the robot running into the tree outside and not being able to just kind of I think birds were roaming around its head and it was dizzy. It was like, that's what was going on. It took a while to recover. So this helps it recover quickly. Robust error recovery. You're going to need some thermal management. Anything that creates heat, you're going to need something to cool that thing down. As my husband says, heat kills. And even human beings, we got our own air conditioning system to cool us down. And robots, they need that too, or they die, just like human beings. Okay. And I'm talking when you're sleeping at night, don't even think about touching. Don't even think about touching that thermometer. Okay. Don't even think about touching that thermometer. 67 degrees. 66 is best, but I will be okay with 67. Don't even go higher than that. Don't do it. And that's how I've been my entire life. Entire life, okay? And I think robots are going to they'll like 66 degrees too. They'll like cold. They like the cold. Anything that produces heat, they're going to like that cold, okay? You're going to need, all right, so besides all that, okay, I named all that. Here we go. You're gonna need vision language action model, which I already talked about, and you're gonna need that NVIDIA's Jetson Thor 800 teraflop on device. It needs to run on device. Running locally eliminates cloud latency, crucial for real-time tasks like avoiding a pet while vacuuming. You're going to need a large language model like OpenAI, like ChatGPT on your robot. You got on-device challenge, a large language model. A large language model. We're talking Llama 7B, which is 7 billion parameters. That needs significant memory. It's too much for edge devices like Jetson Orin. So one of the solutions is, and I want you to know, an edge device, guys, that means it's running on the device. Edge computing and on-device computing are closely related concepts, but they're not identical. Edge computing often means on-device computing, especially in the context of a domestic robot like Rosie. It refers to processing data locally on the device rather than sending it to the cloud server. However, edge computing can also include nearby devices like a home hub, and so it's a broader term. Edge computing processing data close to where it's generated to reduce latency, save bandwidth, and work offline. In robotics, this usually means on-device processing to ensure fast, reliable performance. Now, on-device computing, a subset of edge computing where all processing happens directly on the device. The robot's on-board chip, like NVIDIA Jetson Thor, without relying on external devices or the cloud. So we're talking edge computing for this domestic robot. And again, to make a domestic robot, you're going to need a lot of things. You're going to need SLAM, the simulation, simultaneous localization and mapping. You're going to need some proprioceptive sensing. You're going to need human-robot interaction interfaces, task planning and scheduling, robust error recovery, thermal management. Then you're going to need some vision language action model. We're talking Jetson Thor 800 teraflop. You're going to need a large language model. You're going to need something like a distillation because Jetson Orin is too much. It's too much. A large language model. You're going to need more than 28 gigabytes. So something like Distilbert. That would be Googlebert. All right. You're going to need real-time action chunking in your domestic robot, which breaks complex tasks into smaller actions. This reduces computational load and ensures smooth, responsive movements. In a tight hallway corner filled with dust bunnies, the robot chunks the tasks into extend arm, sweep dust, and collect debris, avoiding furniture scratches with precise quick actions. So you're going to need some more chips for that. And then you're going to need something like Groot Mimic. Now that is NVIDIA. It uses teleported demos. We're talking a VR headset like Apple Vision Pro to create synthetic data sets. For instance, 10 demos of scrubbing a sink can generate 1,000 plus training episodes for the robot. So you're going to need that, some training, imitation learning. You're going to need some edge computing platform. I just told you what edge computing is. You got NVIDIA Jetson AGX Thor or Blackwell Architecture 800 teraflop. Supports on-device vision, learning, action, and large language model inference. Inference is the brain. It's thinking, inference. So you're going to need that. That's a hardware requirement. You're going to need some actuators and harmonic reducers. Harmonic reducers provide precise backlash-free motion for robotic arms, crucial for scrubbing tight corners or delicate tasks like polishing glassware. They're compact, fitting a sleek humanoid design. You're going to need some sensors. You're going to need a lot of power for your domestic robot like Rosie. You're going to need some simulation and training. We're talking NVIDIA Isaac Sim and Isaac Lab. That's simulation to real, which is it incorporates physics, PHYSX, and that is NVIDIA's physics. It's a physics engine that NVIDIA incorporates into Isaac Sim so that it can learn properly how to grip things in the real world, basically. So you're going to need that. Then you're going to need some reinforcement learning and imitation learning. Reinforcement learning fine-tunes actions through trial and error, while imitation learning uses demos for faster learning. Gemini Robotics uses reinforcement learning to adapt the new furniture layouts in a home. Then you're going to need some semantic safety. Frameworks like Google's Asimov dataset ensure safe behavior, preventing the robot from damaging furniture or pets. You're going to need embodied reasoning, enabling spatial understanding so the robot adapts to a new kitchen layout in a vacation home. It's going to have to be energy efficient. Multimodal fusion combines vision, language, and tactile feedback to handle complex scenarios like cleaning a sticky countertop while avoiding a spilled drink. Woo, we are stacking up here. You're going to need some, let's see, more training. I'll just say that. All right, so that's quite a stack. All right. There's a lot that's going to go into a domestic robot like Rosie. And now let's talk cost, because that's what I'm always interested in. How much does this cost? before we do that, let me take a sip of my coffee because it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of cash. All right. Let's talk cost here. We're talking a prototype of a Rosie-like robot. And now, real world, we have 1X Technologies Neo. And I've showed you Neo before. Neo at the NVIDIA GTC conference. Neo was pushing a stick vacuum with that tan Nehru-looking jacket, jumpsuit on. And Neo is trained on NVIDIA software. I believe Neo is a vision language transformer model. I'm not sure if it's a vision language action model because that's quite expensive. Excuse me. Excuse me. I didn't want to burp into the microphone, guys, into your ear. Okay, so NVIDIA, I think, is a vision language transformer, I do believe. But now we got Figure, which is Brett Adcock's. That's his company, Figure. And his robots are VLAs. That's a vision language action model. And that's quite a stack. That's a very expensive stack. And it's just a little bit more efficient and not so piecemealed. So these are the real world robots doing that right now. There's other ones, of course. We were talking Boston Dynamics electric. Well, they're all electric, but their new robot, their new and improved Atlas. Atlas has been in the works for years, but it's a new and improved Atlas humanoid robot that is using a vision language action model as well. And probably Optimus, T-Bot. That would be Tesla, T-Bot, Optimus. So let's talk cost here. Total prototypes are going to be very expensive. A prototype for this is going to cost you around $86,000 to $355,300. No, that's chump change. Let me just pull down deep down into my pockets, go deep into my pockets and just pull $355,000. Here you go. Boom. So you're going to have to understand finances. You're going to have to understand how to put together some funding. You have to understand how to work with VCs. You have to understand how to put a plan together, guys. You got to put your plan together. You got to get yourself together. Get it together, biatch. You got to get yourself all together if you want to do some sort of prototyping of any of this, because you're going to have to go out and get funding. All right. Now, mass production of these robots goes down exponentially, $10,000 to $50,000 per unit, which would be affordable for home use. And that's still pretty. $50,000. That's like a car, man. What? Who's gonna get a domestic robot instead of a car? I don't think so. It needs to come down like a lot more. It needs to do that. So, there needs to be like incentives or maybe coupons. Can I get a coupon? Can I get a coupon for 1X Technologies Neo? Hey guys. Walk into the 1X Technology Neo store. Hey guys, I have a coupon. 50% off. So that brings it down to $5,000. Let me dig down deep into my pockets. And $5,000. Here you go. So, all I'm saying is, it's going to take a while. The robots are a bit clunky right now, but that's not to say there's a lot of people working on them. There's a lot of people working on different components of them, as you saw in Philadelphia with the Philadelphia company. They're just working on a hand. I mean, there's a lot of companies that are just working on a foot. They got that orthopedic thing going on. They're working on a foot. They're working on some distal parts of the robot's body. Some companies are just working on the arm, the forearm, the bicep, arm part, the shoulder, the neck. To hold the robot head up, just a robot head. There's some companies just working on a robot head. There's some companies just working on like just the little fibers. They want to make a robot look just like us. I showed you that one by Clone Robotics. The one looks like it's hanging on a meat hook off the ceiling. Good Lord. Using these like myofiber things. So there's a lot of different companies focusing on many different parts of a humanoid. So they'll all come together one day, and the software will all come together. Right now, it's like the AI agents. It's just all clunky all over the place. But I would say, though, in 20, 30 years, it's going to be a conversation of, is AI, will AI and robots be taking over a lot of jobs? And I mean, it's probably, so it is something to think about. Like if you are going to college, you have a kid who is a teenager or a tween, get them started on coding, get them started on understanding these things right now. And I don't mean to preach. That's just what I would do. That's what I would do. And because here's the thing, you don't want your kid going to college for something you can learn on an app. Okay, that's a problem. They're going to screw themselves over. And so right there, just don't let that happen. And then also, if they are going to college for something someone can't learn on an app yet, but you can learn on an app in like 5 or 10 years, well, that's a problem because you want to have your job for a very, 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 very long time. So you want to keep that in mind too, is, what can I learn today that will still be around in like 20, 30 years? You got to stay fluid. Stay fluid out there, folks. So there's just a lot of components that go, I was going to just wrap this puppy up. There's a lot of components that will go into a domestic robot like Rosie from the Jetsons. A robot that cleans your house, chats with you, and works offline like a smartphone with arms. It sees dirt in your basement, hears clean it, and scrubs without the internet. How will it work? Cameras spot the messes. AI understands commands and precise motors. Clean, tight corners. It's trained in virtual homes to handle real ones like a cluttered garage. No Wi-Fi needed, so it works in a remote cabin or during a storm. It's fast, private, and learns on the go like a super smart maid. So that's basically to wrap that up. And stay tuned, Earth. Stay tuned. We'll stay tuned on that. Moving on, guys. I wore my hair half down today, and it is a little hot. So I'm just kind of moving it around. I don't mean to be playing with it a lot on the camera. And because that can get a little distracting, and I agree with you on that. But I'm just moving it, keeping it off the neck, the old neck. So I want to talk about Boston Dynamics Atlas. Now, Boston Dynamics is an American company. It's been around forever. The guy who founded it, I believe he was an MIT grad. And I mean, this company is over 30 years old. Talk about clunky robots. Oh man, they've been through it. Yikes. Atlas has been through it, man. He didn't learn in a simulated environment. I'm giving it a he name. I mean, it could be an anything really name, an Atlas, whatever it wants to be, but it didn't learn in a simulated environment. It learned the hard way. They took Atlas outside. They said, hey, Atlas, go ahead and walk. Take a step, fall on it flat on his face. Why you do this to me, man? Why you do this? And then they hung it up. That you hang it up on a hook, I call it. Hang it up on a hook, man, so that it doesn't fall while you're trying to program it. And that's very popular too when you're working on a robot where you have it suspended from something, from a hook, and so that it doesn't fall and hurt itself, because prototypes are very expensive. So I'm saying like you don't want it to like hurt itself like it's a human being. We don't really know that, but say they're not. You don't want to be damaging it, and then parts go flying everywhere. This is what happened to Atlas. That's what happened. Is parts went flying everywhere when it fall flat on hit its face, man. So then you try to put it in an atmosphere where there's mats everywhere. You know, those gym mats and gymnastics, those gym mats, put those all around so that when the next time it falls, its knee don't come flying off and end up in someone's coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I think I got Atlas' knee in my coffee. And then it's fried because it got wet. So that's how Atlas learned. It went through a lot. So they've been doing this for a while. It's an American company. I am happy that they've survived so long. It's hard. It was hard to get funding for them back when they started because it wasn't a lucrative. Investors did not find this lucrative. And at that time, it was not lucrative. So they went through rounds of trying to get people to fund them. And then finally in 2021, Hyundai Motor Group, which is South Korean, they acquired them. They acquired a majority stake. But Boston Dynamics still remains a U.S.-based entity operating independently with its research and development and manufacturing rooted in America. The Atlas robot has been crushing it lately, by the way. It's a product of this American Innovation Hub, even with Hyundai's backing. So let's take a look here. And again, it was founded in 1992 as a spinoff from MIT. That's what it was, a spinoff from MIT. It's headquartered in Waltham, Massachusetts. It's a robotics pioneer known for Atlas. They're, Atlas and Spot, really. You've seen Spot around, the dog, the dag. Would you say the dag? What he say? Oh, the dags. The dogs. He meant dogs. Yeah, the dags. Anyone who's seen that movie, sorry, that was a terrible job of it, but I just love Snatch. It's such a great movie. Shout out my friend from high school. We watched that movie. She introduced me to that movie. Love it. And I think of that every time I see the word dog. Dag. Brad Pitt. Dag. The dags. All right. Was it Beautiful George? Anyway, I'm getting that wrong. Okay, back to this. So Atlas was featured virtually at the NVIDIA GTC conference this year, 2025. And I will pop that up. It was just basically showing, I believe Jensen was talking, and he was showing this video of Atlas being trained in the NVIDIA simulated environment. That would be Isaac simulation to real. And it shows the simulation learning. It shows Atlas in real life. And then it shows Atlas in a factory and putting some sort of car part into a car. So that's a simulation to real. It's in a car factory. So that was really impressive. And so Atlas was there virtually at the GTC 2025 NVIDIA conference. And also something that's really impressive is, and again, it was trained on Isaac Lab, which is a robotics specific learning framework built on NVIDIA's Omniverse, plus Isaac Sim. Now, Isaac Sim is a simulation to real platform designed for robotics that allows developers to train and test robot or models in a high fidelity simulated environment before deploying them in the real world. And high fidelity is a test setup that closely mimics the real world conditions of a warehouse or factory with exceptional accuracy and detail. It's not a computer simulation like virtual 3D, but a physical environment. Think a lab or stage area designed to replicate the complexities of an actual industrial setting. Now, Isaac Sim itself is not the physics engine. It is the framework that leverages physics. That's PHYSX, and that is NVIDIA's physics engine for accurate physics calculations alongside tools for rendering, sensor simulation, and reinforcement learning. We're talking LiDAR cameras. Isaac Sim explicitly integrates Physics 5. That's the physics engine. In the latest version as of 2025, to simulate realistic physical interactions like objects falling, robots grasping, or surfaces colliding. Isaac Sim to Real is training robots in a simulated environment and transferring those skills to the real world. Physics, which is the physics engine, PHYSX, ensures the simulations physics are accurate enough that behaviors learned virtually, like grasping a box, work in real settings with minimal tweaking. So Atlas is really making strides here, and I'm going to pop this video up. I have two videos. We have Atlas being shown. There's a split screen Atlas in a real world environment. It looks like a test lab. And then the next to it, this is the split screen, is the simulation. It's kind of like the view, Atlas's view. So it's walking. Okay, let me explain. I'm laughing because I love Atlas, by the way. But so what it's doing is it has this ring light head. Okay. It looked around the room. It's going to a bin and it's pulling out an item. It pulls an item out. It's trying to figure out how to grab it. It grabs it. Its head turn. It does a 180. Okay. And then it's going sideways over to the place where Atlas is going to put the object into, okay? And the 180, it looks like an owl. It's got that owl head on it. Now, Atlas doing that, the 180 is it's a little off-putting at first. You're like, it's a little like, how can it swing its head all the way like that, like an owl? But it's a robot. They could put whatever they want on this robot. And one of the abilities is for it to move its head completely. It can do a 360 with its head, with that ring light head. And I like how it do the sidewalk, the crab walk. It's a sidewalk. It's crab walking over to the area it needs to put its object into. And this is quite impressive. It's wild. So, bear with me. Okay. Now the other, and this is what I'm talking about. This is, now Atlas is being made to work in a factory like Hyundai. Actually, Atlas is being made to work in Hyundai right now, but you could buy Atlases to work in your other factories, and it's using a vision language action model. Now, I'm going to go through the things that it's using, and this is going to sound very familiar to the things that a Rosie from the Jetson robot, a domestic robot that can clean homes and understand voice commands and this and that and everything, act like a human. So all the things that Atlas is using, the software stack, is very familiar, is going to be very much like your domestic robot stack. So we're getting there, man. It's a vision language action model. Atlas's hardware, bipedal legs, articulated arms, enables human-like dexterity, which is a massive engineering feat because it's not just about seeing and doing. It's doing it with human fluidity in a complex environment. And my favorite, guys, here we go. Real-time action chunking. Atlas got some real-time action chunking in there, okay? What is that? I'll tell you what it is. Action chunking involves breaking complex tasks into smaller, manageable actions. Here we go. Example. Move to object. Grasp the object. place the object down. Real-time chunking means the robot dynamically adjusts these steps based on live feedback from sensors. In the case of Atlas, the videos show Atlas doing this, navigating, grasping, and placing objects while adapting to changes, re-grasping if needed. But it's not just chunking. It's the how that's impressive. How is this impressive, guys? Atlas integrates bipedal locomotion. Do the locomotion, precise manipulation, and environmental awareness in a fluid, human-like way, which requires advanced AI to process sensor data. We're talking LiDAR cameras and make split-second decisions. Why is this chunking so hard? You know, say, just put some real-time action chunking into that robot. Just do it. It sounds so easy. Like you're just going to go pick up some real-time action chunking. You're going to insert it into your robot and we're done. Not that easy, guys. Not that easy. Chunking sounds simple, but doing it in real time in a dynamic environment, unlike a static factory, we're talking Rosie the domestic robot, okay, is brutal. It demands high fidelity sensors, robust AI, and control systems to handle balance object interaction and unpredictability without crashing or dropping stuff. That's hard. We're going to compare it to Figure, okay? Brett Adcock, I talk about his robot Figure. And this is I'm not throwing shade on anything here, okay? All these robots have different use cases, so you're going to have a different kind of software stack, okay? Now, Figure is in BMW factories doing some work right now. And we're talking, I think that's in South Carolina. That's where they're doing that. Figure's demos are promising, but less polished. It's a little slower, not much, a little bit. And its adaptability is narrower than Atlas. So they both do use the vision language action model system, but Atlas's execution suggests a more mature integration with better sensor fusion and control. So that's a little comparison. So is Atlas just a vision language action model? It is. It's a vision action language model on steroids. It on steroids, that Atlas over there. It's outpacing Figure's robot or Tesla's Optimus with slicker moves and smarter decisions compared to clunky factory arms or Atlas's old wobbly self. This is a robotics revolution. It's preparing for Hyundai's factory, proving automation's coming for blue collar jobs. So, I mean, yeah, that's going to happen, guys. This is going to happen. But it's wild. So I want to show you this video here. And I showed this a few videos back, but it just blows my mind. We're still on Atlas. Okay. And the reason that Atlas can move the way it can move, I'm going to call it a he. Okay. Cause he's got this ring light. He's not pretty, so we'll call it a he. It's okay. He's good. I think, maybe I'll nickname him Giblet. He might like a nickname. So Atlas here, a nickname Giblet. In this video, he's holding a Canon camera, and we're talking Canon like a film, a very serious, we're talking like doing an advertising for a car commercial, doing advertising for anything. And it's on that gimbal. It's that camera on that gimbal, and it's walking around a car. It's doing all different kinds of angles. I'm talking Atlas is holding a Canon camera on that gimbal, and it's just going up and down around the object. And what it looks like it's doing is it's filming footage for a commercial, and Atlas is doing it. And with his ring light head and that vision language action, and now we got Atlas doing a backflip. He got those thick thighs, you know what I mean? He's got those thunder thighs. That's a good thing, man. You want those thunder thighs. Snap. Why did it did a backflip and then it landed like a superhero with the 1 foot in front of it, like it's going to do a lunge. All right, dog. Okay. I see what's going on. Do you see what's going on? Here we go. Jeez. That's amazeballs. So it's all very, very impressive. Very impressive. Bear with me. And the last robot I want to talk about today, it's we have another. This was a surprise video. Hang on, ready? I'm putting my Hans device on for this because your head might, your neck, your head might snap back on your neck. This sweaty neck. Okay. We have, oh Lord, we got another orthopedic. We got another orthopedic hand here. This hand, it's a glove. Now, this hand, it looks like they took a rubber glove and filled it up with water. Or it looks like they chopped off a hand of one of those nuclear or like lab people that they get all the lab garb on and they got the gloves and they just chop that hand off. And they're like, we're just going to make this into a robot. That's what it looked like because it's a yellow glove. It's kind of weird looking. Researchers have created a single material electronic skin using a gelatin-based conductive hydrogel that senses pressure, heat, and damage. 32 electrodes in the hand collected over 1.7 million data points to enable a machine learning model to interpret various touches. University of Cambridge. That is wild. It's a video of a guy touching with his pointer finger the hand of this. It looks like a hand that you would find in an adult store, but we're going to move on from that. It's touching different points of its hand, and it kind of looked like that. What was that, Leonardo da Vinci, where he's touching like the hand of God? Is that the right guy? Is that the right painter? Okay, let's move on. And it's a hand in a mold, and they're showing how they mold this electronic skin using a gelatin-based conductive hydrogel. What? This is an orthopedic robot. I think, and then there's another robot printing it. I believe there's a robot printing the hand. That is wild. And now it's like yellow and black. It looks like it has diabetes. It looks like a diabetic hand. I don't think that's the intention though. Guys, this is wild. Wow. Yikes. Here we go. On that note, I'm going to sign off. It was really fun being here with you guys today. Thanks for joining in with me, and I'm sending lots of love out there to you. Thanks for the support, guys, and I really hope to see you at my show, my stand-up show sometime soon. I have a show coming up. I believe it's in August, and I'll announce that. And I have some improv shows as well, but I really hope to see you guys out there, and I want to look you in your eyeballs and talk to you. And thanks, guys. And I will see you next week.